Google. Let's go get him again.
What's going on, fragrance family? Welcome to Samplin Samples Sunday. This series is where I wear a scent as much as a little sample lets me. It is my scent of the day today, and I'm going to give you as much detail as I can and give you my final thoughts on if I'll be buying it, getting another sample, or simply this is the end of the road for this particular set. Today's sample is Lavender Extreme by the brand of Tom Ford. I was this close blind buying this one to add to my Tom Ford collection because of bottle only. Yes, that bottle is gorgeous, and I would want this fragrance just for the bottle, just for the collection. Lavender fragrances, especially ones in the $200 or plus range, don't seem appealing to me, and that's just my personal opinion. There's some certain notes that I feel you need more out of the fragrance. And lavender, as sad as this sounds, I feel it's a very pedestrian note. It's been in fragrances for ages, but at the same time, it's everywhere. It's in candles, air fresheners, cleaners, things like that. And a pour lavender kind of smells like a cleaner to me. So you got to do it really well. And for me to shell out $200+ it's rare for a lavender base. Now, I don't mean like just lavender as a secondary note or just a note, like as a primary note in a particular fragrance. I just don't see the worth in them. So I do own, and funny enough, I do own a lavender based fragrance from the brand of Tom Ford called Lavender Palm, long discontinued from Tom Ford. I hardly reach out for that one. I never liked it from day one. It was more of a collection piece, to be quite honest. My Tom Ford collection is huge, and I wanted that one to add to the collection early in my journey. So let's see if they can sell me on this one. It won't be too hard because of the bottle, but let's see if this one's just half decent. I may just get it. So let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one. Release date was back in 2019, and I already hear rumblings of discontinuation on this one. That's how fast Tom Ford fragrances go in and out. If you don't sell, you're gone. And I believe price range also was a part of that also, because this lavender release was not just under the private blend umbrella, but it was on the higher echelon price point. Concentrations eau de parfum. On the nose behind this is Olivier Gilotin. The major notes to my nose were, of course, lavender. It's a lavender-based fragrance, and yes, it is. It's a huge lavender-based fragrance, but it also has carrot seed, a very interesting note that you don't see too much in note breakdowns, and it's backed by tonka bean, which is a very familiar note. So let's get to sniffing. So let's drain out Lavender Extreme. Yes, again, it's a little Lucky Scent sample. Let's drain it, and let's sniff it. Ooh. Wow. Lavender Extreme starts off exactly how I thought it would. If you want a straightforward lavender note, this is it. This is not a secondary note. It's not muffled by other notes. It is straight up lavender. Now, the lavender note in this release isn't too deep here. It's not showing much of its rough edges, but the cleaner side of things. It's refined and it's controlled as a note, which is a good thing. So, is this Lavender Extreme, going in the extreme version? Not so much. It is a very clean, and it's not a big, bold fragrance. Off the bat, it's clearly better than Lavender Palm. Like, the Palm can go away. This one smells high-end, unlike the Palm. It's something I must give the brand kudos for, as many times for me the note of lavender of course doesn't smell of high class. Here it does. They've made it. It's a clean, inoffensive floral scent. Now, in the opening, it does have a little bit of a citrusy quality here, which is very slight. It does not remove the spotlight off the lavender. The citrus smells like lemon to me, which works very well historically with lavender. There's a slight sparkly, almost aldehydic feel to this opening too, which again is very minor, giving the scent another piece of the puzzle, but would not be missed if it was not in the scent, in my personal opinion. There's a creamy aspect that starts creaming up here, which could be from the tonka bean. Overall, the opening is very much aromatic lavender in its clean, slightly herbaceous, slightly citrusy quality. Honestly, this opening, it's a top-notch lavender note, I have to admit. Now in the dry down of Lavender Extreme, it started showing me some personality, some vanilla-like sweetness. It has a slightly powdery aspect and has a slight creamy aspect to it, which is all attributed to, of course, the tonka bean and the violet in this release. And I feel some iris-like quality here, which gives the scent a bit of a Play-Doh waxy-like quality, which also, of course, helps the richness of this release. It reminded me a bit of Effin' Fabulous from the same brand. They both feel like they would do the same thing. They both share a lot of notes, which makes all kinds of sense. I felt some carrot seed in the mid here, giving its rooty, powdery, herbaceous, hay-like aldehydic tones throughout the release. The tonka bean, major factor in this release, at times almost wallops the lavender note. Tries to take over the scent in the deep dry down, but really never fully succeeds. I feel like the lavender was throughout from start to finish. It was a lavender based fragrance, but the tonka really came up in the dry down. At this point, it feels like a lavender vanilla combo that could be portrayed as a candle or a beauty product smell instead of a high-end fragrance. I felt it smelt richer and much better in the opening than in the dry down, in my personal opinion. Now apparently this has rose geranium in the note breakdown, but neither shine in this release, at least throughout my little sampling. And there's a very minor cinnamon-like note that has absolutely zero bite to it. It gives Lavender Extreme some personality. And it feels like this, and even Effin' Fabulous, it felt like these releases needed more personality to them. I know what they're geared for, but it felt like there was something missing in both those releases. Both well done. Now there's also a mild benzoin note here, a resinous quality here, but again, very, very tame. Just really muffled down to really give the lavender the basically the center of the fragrance. At the end of the day, Lavender Extreme pulled me different ways. It pulled me to buy-worthy, to not, to back to buy-worthy. It really played with my fragrance emotions that I'm like, well, price tag plays a lot with that. You know, if this was a $100 fragrance, it's probably be an easy purchase. It really toes the line in being a pedestrian lavender fragrance to a classy lavender fragrance. Now for me, lavender fragrances, as you know, like I said, aren't scents I want to spend the big bucks on. I feel that I waste my money with lavender fragrances. I feel like you can get some for really, really cheap. This one's really pricey. It's, you know, if I said 1 to 10, you know, 10 being the highest priced lavender based fragrance, this would be in the 10 zone. This is expensive, but price is all about you and your wallet. You know, that's something I can't do on camera and tell you this is worth it. I can give you, you know, my personal opinion, but I'm not going to tell you to go buy a $300, $400, $500 fragrance at the end of the day. For me personally, in the Tom Ford collection, would this be one of the first ones I'd buy? Hardly. As a collector, yeah, because of the bottle, it's kind of cool. Now, it's a solid lavender fragrance at the end of the day, though. So that's one thing I do want to portray in this video. But it truly pulls me, and I feel very undecided, and I hate doing this with videos, is that I like it. I actually really like it as a lavender fragrance, but not liking it for the price. It's well done as a fragrance, but at the price point and my history with the note, it's not going to be an easy, well, it is an easy no for me, but during this testing, it really wasn't an easy no. It kept going back and forth and me really kind of rethinking, should I buy this, shouldn't I? And then of course it being pulled, you kind of need to figure out something because you don't want to pay more than retail. At the end of the day, this testing did its job personally. You know, it didn't fully sell me on the release, but it did kind of sell me. Now let's go into seasons, day, night versatility, and performance. Seasons for this one, lavender-based fragrances, great for spring. They have spring written all over them. Great for summer too, same thing, and early fall. I feel like lavender-based fragrances is highly versatile. You can wear them all seasons, basically. Day or night, I feel like They don't have enough personality for them to be a nighttime scent. You can wear it at night, but I feel like this is more of a daytime scent. I could see this as a signature scent for somebody. Versatility, of course, very high. Can be a signature scent. I could see someone wearing this as a signature all the time, day, night, whatever. Dress up, dress down. This lavender-based fragrance is right up in high versatility. Performance. Now, longevity was 5 to 7 hours, so it's not a beast, with below average projection. So this one, as far as performance goes, isn't a beast. It's not big and bold. It's right there. Some could say it's a little weak for the price you're paying, perhaps, but that's how this fragrance was built. Everything was toned down to really amplify that lavender. It was really lavender centric. So at the end of the day, Lavender Extreme gives you the lavender lover what you wanted, basically. I would not expect a lavender lover to hate this, maybe for the price, but as far as the scent goes, I think it was well constructed. The tonka bean kind of muffled the lavender a little bit, the beauty of it. But on a scale of lavender lovers, you should love this. I can't see the worth here for me for retail pricing, but I know some lavender-centric perfume heads will tell me in the comments why it is worth the Tom Ford pricing. The bottle, though, may be one of the best-looking Tom Fords out there, in my opinion. Lavender Extreme feels like the brief was all about being an old-school scent, kind of like à la Caron, Pour un Homme, but stripped down. My personal opinion on lavender-based scents has always been that you can find yourself an excellent one for cheap. Now for me, this one goes a little ahead of the forgettable Tom Ford private blends. You know, the Azure Limes, meh. Lavender Palm, another meh. It's not a showstopper like many of the classics from the brand, in my personal opinion. So it's basically a Tom Ford release that fills in the middle gap of the whole line. It's not a star, an absolute love from me, but it's in the middle of the pack, and that's where it can be forgotten because there's several in front of it, and I mean a lot of them in front of this one for my personal taste. And that's one thing as a reviewer I need to kind of put on the side sometimes and say, is this an excellent lavender? Yes, it is. For the price point, kind of brings down the score a little bit on this release. So some fragrances that are around this realm for cheaper, I know I said a bunch and I always like to give you some examples. Molinar's Lavender is a good one. L'Occident Pour Homme could be an excellent replacement for better prices if you're looking for something. Now if you see me with a bottle of this in the future, it's because of the beautiful bottle. Personally, it always has been, and adding to my growing Tom Ford collection because it is one of those collections that I love adding bottles. So this little sample, maybe the lavender will get to me and I will finally have it in my collection. So keep it tuned in for a bottle coming soon in my collection. But I'm in no rush of getting a Lavender Extreme. So if I had to give it a score currently, and that's where, you know, some really good parts in this fragrance. There's some that are just like, there's a lot of things pulling me back and forth, and it's one of those that, you know, at the end of the sample, which is today, do I feel like, again, you don't want to rush to purchase a bottle just because of a discontinuation. So as far as sampling goes, am I in a rush to get another sample to smell it and get on my skin? Not really, but I am going to miss it. So if I had to give it a score, I'm going to give it a good score. I'm going to give it a score of 7 bottles out of 10, and I think that's very fair for the price and what you get in the bottle. I think it's right there it could go to 8, depending, right? If I get a bottle and I'm wearing this more often, and especially in the season that it's meant for, like I'm wearing this right now in the middle of our Canadian winters, which isn't the best time to wear it. Wearing this in the spring, I think it would actually bring up the score a little bit on this one because I feel like that would be the season for it to shine, and I think it would shine. This is just the price point also is a big factor in this one. So 7 bottles out of 10, I think I'm more than fair on this release. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. The lavender people are going to kill me. As always, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube.